the girl mistook the yandere prince for her fiancé. She went to the pear tree in the garden as agreed, and saw a particularly handsome man sitting there. She said she sincerely wanted to marry him. Hearing this, the prince coldly refused, but the girl thought her fiancé doubted her sincerity. She immediately swore she would never interfere if he took concubines after marriage. Even if he wanted to marry another man, it would be fine. The prince grew curious and asked why she was so eager to marry him. As if touching a sore spot, the girl tearfully replied that she had loved him for a long time. But the prince saw through her lie at once. The girl had to explain she wanted to leave her home, for her family never loved her. However, the prince was absorbed in wiping the hand that had just touched her. Feeling awkward, the girl made an excuse to leave. Just then, she passed a pavilion where young nobles were gathered. The girl remembered the yandere prince was said to be here today. She wondered which one he was so she could stay far away from him in the future. Hearing this, the prince pointed at her fiancé and said that was him. The girl nodded gratefully. The next second, she was so startled she nearly fell. The fiancé noticed the movement, only to see the girl being held in a man's arms. Meanwhile, the girl tightly covered the prince's mouth. She scolded that if the yandere prince heard them talking about him, they would all die. The prince claimed he had come to accept her marriage proposal. Before leaving, he kindly warned her that the yandere prince most enjoyed killing people while smiling. When the girl turned back to the pavilion, the gathering had already ended. At that moment, she found the yandere prince standing right behind her. The fiancé smiled and invited her on a date, but the girl grew even more frightened and immediately ran away. Enraged, the fiancé declared he would never marry this girl. As the girl returned home, her mother informed her that the engagement had been broken. The girl thought there must be a misunderstanding and decided to find her fiancé and talk it over. The next day, she saw him stepping down from a carriage on the street. She followed him into a tavern, only to find him having fun with the maids. Furious, the girl burst in and confronted him about breaking their engagement. The prince ordered the maids to leave, then came over and played with her hair. The girl instantly swatted away his hand, but the next moment, he pulled out her hairpin and pressed it against her neck. His eyes turned fierce. The girl immediately backed down and begged him to let her go, but the prince excitedly invited her to play a game. If she could escape the room within 3 seconds, he wouldn't kill her. The girl agreed without hesitation. Before he could count, she had already rushed out. However, she unfortunately ran into the yandere prince here too. The fiancé thought she had come to date another man and questioned why she was there. At that moment, the prince put the hairpin back into her hair. His gentle manner left the girl deeply confused. The fiancé immediately accused her of betraying him. Hearing this, the girl asked who he was to boss her around. The prince couldn't help laughing at them. He told the girl he had decided to continue with the engagement after all. Only then did the girl leave in relief. That night, she opened the system to check her fiancé's favorability level and found it had fallen to -3,000. She yelled that it must be a bug, but she soon found out the reason. At the palace banquet not long after, the attendant announced the prince's arrival. The girl looked up, only to find her fiancé was walking in. She pointed at him in a panic. As the prince approached, her legs gave way and she immediately knelt down.